Welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're going into global healthcare private equity.
Oh, exciting.
It is. We're going to be looking at the Bain Company Global Healthcare Private Equity Report 2025.
Okay.
Now, it is a long report, so we're here to kind of like break it down into...
Yeah, to make it digestible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Digestible. The good stuff,
Yeah, the good stuff.
the shifts, the big money moves, and maybe even like a little peek into the future of healthcare.
Like a crystal ball.
Exactly, yeah. So what I find really interesting about this report is it really gives us a view of where investors think healthcare is going.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like where they're putting their money shows what they think is going to be hot.
Exactly. So let's just jump into it. 2024, record-breaking year.
Huge.
$115 billion in deals globally.
Oh, wow.
Now, this is happening when interest rates are high,
Yes.
and investors are holding onto these assets for a lot longer.
Right, holding times are longer.
Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Yeah. It does. It seems counterintuitive, right? But it shows their confidence in healthcare long term.
Like, they're not worried about these little bumps in the road.
Yeah, it's almost like they see healthcare as this, like, unstoppable train.
Yeah, like a force of nature, unstoppable.
Exactly. But it's not just this, like, uniform, wave of investment. There's, like, regional shifts happening, too.
Yeah. What are you seeing there?
Well, North America is still, the king.
A big dog, yeah.
65% of global deal value, that's huge. But, Europe is coming up.
Yeah.
They actually beat their 2021 peak deal volume.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
And what about Asia Pacific?
They had a little dip overall.
But I bet there's more to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting trends in specific countries.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But first, we got to talk Biopharma.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they led in deal value, right?
Big money there.
Big money. Think Novo Holdings, Catalent, $16.5 billion.
Wow.
Or the Alignment Pharmaceutical buyout, $2.2 billion.
Yeah, these are not small deals.
Not at all. But there's a twist.
Ooh, I love a good twist.
So while there were these big deals, the overall volume of deals actually went down.
Really? So it's like biopharma is hot, but not.
Yeah. What's happening there? Are investors getting nervous?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's more of a reality check, The report talks about this gap
Okay.
between what sellers want for their biopharma assets
Uh-huh.
and what buyers are actually willing to pay.
Ah, a disconnect.
Exactly. Sellers are stuck in the past when pharma spending was booming.
But things have changed.
They have. New drugs, old drugs losing patent protection.
Right. That puts pressure on prices, spending.
Exactly. And that impacts the little guys, the biotech startups.
Makes it harder to get funding.
It's like a chain reaction,
Yeah.
Less spending from big pharma hurts the innovation pipeline.
Makes you realize how much innovation relies on this whole complex ecosystem.
Oh, for sure.
So biopharma, it's like this exciting but uncertain world.
A bit of a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster. All right, let's switch tracks. Talk healthcare IT.
Okay.
Remember a few years back, everyone was saying healthcare IT was going to take over.
Oh, yeah, it was the next big thing.
Then in 2023, it kind of dipped.
Took a little breather.
But in 2024, it's back.
Back with a vengeance.
Why the comeback?
Well, it seems like providers, payers, they're realizing they need IT.
To survive, to thrive.
Exactly. Providers, they're facing so much financial pressure.
Yeah.
And they're turning to these IT systems to be more efficient.
It's like they finally get that technology isn't an expense, it's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment in their future.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving money, right?
No. Think about payers.
Okay.
They're using analytics, AI even, to improve how they pay for healthcare.
That's huge.
It is. And then you have biopharma. They need to upgrade their clinical trial systems.
To keep up with the times.
Exactly. We're seeing it in the deals, like Arsenal Capital Partners buying Endpoint Clinical.
Ah, so it's not just talk, it's action.
Oh, absolutely.
Healthcare IT is becoming like the backbone of the industry.
It's essential.
Okay, we've got biopharma adjusting, healthcare IT beaming.
Uh-huh.
What about the big buzzword, generative AI?
Everyone's talking about it.
Is it living up to the hype?
Well, the report says it has huge potential,
Yeah.
automation, cost savings, better decisions.
Sounds great.
But here's the thing.
Huh.
Investments in companies focused just on AI in healthcare, they've been small.
That's interesting.
Right. So the question is, what's holding them back?
Is it just too early? Is the tech not ready?
That's what everyone's trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe investors are being cautious, waiting to see real results before they jump in.
It's like they see the potential, but they're not quite ready to go all in.
Yeah, maybe they're looking for more specific applications of AI, not just, everything AI.
It's got to be the right fit, right?
Exactly.
AI in healthcare, it's still kind of a mystery.
We're still in the early chapters.
Okay, so we've got the big players, the biopharma, the IT.
Right.
But there's this other group making waves, the mid-market funds.
Oh, yeah, the up-and-comers?
These are the funds managing like $500 million to $4 billion.
Yeah, not the giants, but not tiny either.
And they're doing really well.
Outperforming the big guys, even in this crazy market.
How are they doing it? What's the secret?
Well, they're not doing the same old buy and build strategy.
They're doing something different.
Exactly. They're finding smarter, more focused ways to add value.
I like it.
One way is they're investing in these derivative provider targets.
Derivative provider targets. What are those?
So think like staffing companies, lab services, things that help provider groups run smoothly.
The essential but often overlooked stuff.
Exactly. And providers, they're struggling, right? They need
Yeah.
help with efficiency, costs.
So these services are in high demand.
They are. And mid-market funds, they see that opportunity.
It's like finding the gaps.
Yeah, the niches that the big players are missing.
It's like they're proving you don't need to be huge to make a difference.
Sometimes being nimble is better.
Okay, we've got big money in biopharma, the IT comeback, these scrappy mid-market funds.
A lot going on.
But there's one big question we haven't talked about yet, exits.
The big E.
How are these firms cashing out, especially with these longer hold times?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Interest rates are high. Buyers and sellers can't agree on prices.
So exits are slowing down.
Definitely, firms are holding on to things longer than they planned.
And that impacts anyone who's invested in these funds.
Oh, yeah, they have to wait longer for their returns.
So it's not as simple as it used to be.
No, those quick flips, they're not happening as much.
So what are these firms doing?
Well, the report says they need to prove they've actually created value.
Not just ridden the market wave.
Exactly. You got to show growth, potential, a good story for the buyers.
It's a different game now.
It is. More complex, more strategic.
So we got massive deals, regional shifts, the IT surge, the AI puzzle.
It's a lot to take in.
And don't forget those interesting trends in Asia-Pacific.
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into that next.
Get ready, because next we're going deep into Asia-Pacific healthcare private equity.
It's going to be a wild ride. All right, so Asia-Pacific, China's slowdown kind of put a dent in things.
Yeah, had an impact.
But there are some bright spots, these like rising stars.
New hotspots, emerging markets.
Exactly. And India. India's leading the pack.
Really?
Yeah. 7% GDP growth in 2024.
Wow.
I mean, that's huge. And when the economy grows, healthcare spending follows.
Makes sense. People have more money. They want to be healthier.
Exactly. And what's interesting is India's PE market, it's been pretty resilient.
So even with the global, ups and downs.
Yeah, even with all that, they only had a slight dip in deal volume in 2024.
So it's a strong market.
Very strong. And where are they invested? Well, provider and related services, that's big.
So hospitals, clinics, that kind of thing.
Yeah, all that. And then you have biopharma.
Yes.
Specifically, these companies called CDMOs.
CDMOs?
Right. Contract development and manufacturing organizations.
So they're the ones who help develop and make drugs for other companies.
Exactly. They're like the backbone of the industry.
So investors are betting on both, like delivering care and making new treatments.
Yeah. It's like building the foundation for a whole healthcare system.
Are they making money? Are they seeing returns?
Oh, yeah. Look at Advent International. They sold their stake in BSV Group to Mankind Pharma for $1.6 billion.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
It is. It shows you the potential in India.
Yeah. It's a market you can't ignore.
Definitely not. All right, now let's hop over to Japan.
Okay, Japan. Land of the rising sun.
And rising healthcare investments.
Really? How so?
Their healthcare PE, it's been growing like 20% a year since 2019.
That's impressive.
It is. And there's a few reasons why. First, aging population.
That's a trend we see everywhere, but especially in Japan.
Yeah. Lots of people over 65, they need more healthcare, more senior care.
Their population pyramid is like upside down.
It is. And that, combined with their focus on pharma innovation.
Oh, yeah. Japan's known for their pharma.
Makes it a really attractive market for investors.
So Japan, it's like this mix of demographics and innovation.
The perfect storm for healthcare investment.
Okay, so India's booming. Japan's got its own thing going on. What about South Korea?
South Korea, they also saw a jump in deal value in 2024.
Interesting. What's driving that? Are they like Japan with the aging population?
Yeah, they have that too, but what's really hot in South Korea is their med tech.
MedTech, so the technology side of healthcare.
Exactly. They've become this hub for innovative med tech companies.
What kind of companies?
Lots of focus on aesthetics, skincare, dental health, that kind of thing.
So they found their niche?
They have, and investors are taking notice.
Any specific deals that stand out?
Well, there's the acquisition of GZ's Medical. They make aesthetic devices.
Okay.
And they were bought by Arcumd, a European PE firm.
Interesting. So the money's coming in from all over.
It is. It shows you how global this industry is.
It's like a global dance of healthcare investment.
It is. And while each country in Asia Pacific is different,
Yeah, they all have their own strengths, their own challenges.
there's one thing they all share.
Growth.
Growth.
Yeah.
That's the magic word.
It is. It's what attracts investors, and it's what's driving the future of healthcare in this region.
So we're seeing this shift, this eastward movement.
It's like the center of gravity for healthcare is moving.
And that's exciting, right? Because these markets, they could become these engines of innovation.
Absolutely. Think new treatments, new technologies, all coming from Asia Pacific.
It's a whole new chapter in healthcare, and it's just beginning.
It is. And it's not just about the money. It's about how healthcare is delivered, how it evolves.
Yeah, it impacts everyone, everywhere.
Exactly. So while we've talked about all these big trends, these global
The
forces,
specific sectors, the regional differences.
there's one question we got to ask ourselves.
What does it all mean? Why should anyone listening to this care?
Because it's not just numbers, it's about the future of healthcare itself. It is. These investments, these deals, they're shaping how we receive care, how new drugs are made.
It's about understanding the forces that will impact your health, your access to care.
It's about being informed, seeing the bigger picture,
Exactly. And maybe even, getting inspired.
to be a part of it, to drive change.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground, right? But there's still more to explore.
The healthcare PE world, it's constantly changing, always moving.
And there are some big questions hanging over it.
Yeah, like what's going to happen next? What's the next chapter? We've seen all this activity, all this investment, but the market, it's not exactly calm.
No, not at all. It's kind of like choppy waters.
Yeah, interest rates are up, buyers and sellers, they don't seem to agree on what things are worth.
Right. It's creating this uncertainty.
So what's next? Where do we go from here?
Well, the report, it asks this question about bid-ask convergence.
Bid-ask convergence, what's that?
Basically, will buyers and sellers finally agree on prices?
Ah, so will things stabilize? Will we see more deals?
That's the big question. And then there's this other big unknown, regulation.
Oh yeah, with the new administration, new Congress.
That's like a whole new ballgame. What are they going to do about healthcare?
Could change everything.
It could. Drug pricing, innovation, even supply chains.
Healthcare, it's global. So what happens in one place affects everyone.
Absolutely. But there's another trend I wanted to mention, alternative investments.
Oh yeah, the report talked about that.
It's like investors are getting creative, looking beyond the traditional buyouts.
Like explorers, searching for new opportunities.
Exactly. One thing they're doing is partnering with corporations.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're joining forces to buy or even build provider assets.
So it's not just PE firms going it alone.
No, they're teaming up, leveraging each other's strengths.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. TPG, they partnered with Cencora to buy OneOncology back in 2023.
Okay.
And they just kept going, added United Urology Group in 2024.
Wow, so it's like a PE firm and a healthcare company building this cancer care giant.
Exactly. It's a powerful combination.
And the report mentioned Mosaic Health. What's that about?
Mosaic Health. That's another great example. It's this new platform for value-based care.
Okay.
And it was created through a partnership between CD&R, a PE firm, and Elevance Health, a big insurance company.
So you've got the financial expertise and the healthcare know-how.
Yeah, it's like the perfect match.
They're really trying to shake things up.
They are. It's blurring the lines between investors and strategic buyers.
Everyone's trying to find their place in this new world of healthcare.
That's what makes it so exciting.
It's like we're witnessing this evolution in real time.
We are. So we've covered a lot, but there's always more to learn.
Healthcare, private equity, it's dynamic, it's complex, it's fascinating.
And it impacts everyone, whether you realize it or not.
So why should people care about this? Why should they pay attention?
Because these trends, they're not just about money, they're about the future of healthcare.
They're about how we'll receive care, what treatments will be available.
It's about understanding the forces shaping the healthcare of tomorrow.
It's about being informed, being engaged, and maybe even being inspired.
Exactly. If you're interested in learning more, check out the Bain & Company Global Healthcare Private Equity Report 2025.
It's a great resource. Lots of insights, lots of data.
It'll give you a deeper understanding of this complex world.
And that's it for our deep dive into healthcare private equity.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you learned something and maybe even got a few ideas of your own.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And keep diving deep.